Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. That's the way it's finished tonight at the Emirates Stadium. A worthy victory from Arsenal in this huge title contenders clash in which they were the better side. They deserved the 3 points. Liverpool, on the other hand, extremely poor. Terrifying to watch at times how scary they were in a bad sense. How poor they were, how diabolical they were, how abysmal they were, how atrocious they were. And there were some absolutely calamitous moments to boot as Mikel Arteta's side hand Jurgen Klopp's side only their second loss of the season. And not only that, but they also closed the gap on the Reds at the top of the table to just a couple of points. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is obviously going to be the instant match reaction to Arsenal's big 3-1 victory over Liverpool. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard with the goals for Arsenal. You could also maybe include Gabriel's own goal in that, as Arsenal scored all 4 but only came out with a 3-1 victory in what was a brilliant performance by Arsenal. Well deserved of their victory, but for Liverpool it was shambolic, it was atrocious, it was poor viewing if you are a Liverpool fan such as myself. We're going to be going through the game. We're going to be talking about what it means for both of these sides. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you feel new. Both of them are always and very greatly appreciated. Also, get involved in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think and feel down below. All of your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, will make for great and interesting reading, I'm sure, in the comments section. So do get involved down there. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Arsenal, Liverpool, the title race that be. And first and foremost, it's easy to say this. Arsenal were the better side. Arsenal deserved it. Liverpool were poor. They were abysmal to watch at times. There were moments in the game where you thought the tide was changing. Liverpool were getting back into it. Maybe Liverpool were getting a bit more control of the game. And then they went and lost it again almost instantaneously. And part of the reason why is because Arsenal were very good on the day. Arsenal were very controlling. I felt Mikel Arteta got the substitutes right. Obviously, the couple that he had to be forced into, such as the injury seemingly to Bukayo Saka, he was forced into, but he seemed to get everything right on the day in terms of the way that he set up, the way he went out to play. And Liverpool just couldn't handle it for the most part. And although there was the incentive there for Liverpool to maintain their stance at the top of the table, to maintain the points difference between themselves and to extend, should I say, the points difference between themselves and Arsenal, and even themselves and Manchester City to an extent, who obviously don't play until tomorrow, but yet it's a big W for Man City as well, and they haven't even kicked a ball this weekend, with obviously them having now 2 games in hand over Liverpool. It's big for Arsenal. It means they're back into the title race. It's big for Man City, but it's a poor result for Liverpool. It's not fatal by any stretch of the imagination. There's no point overreacting about it. Liverpool is still top of the table, and points on the board obviously mean more than games in hand. But at the same time, today was just worrying. It was so worrying that we couldn't contain Arsenal. We couldn't even threaten Arsenal. We very rarely even threatened to lay a glove on Arsenal throughout the entirety of the game. The incentive and the opportunity was there, as I talked about. Arsenal coming into this game needed to win. It was a must-win game for Arsenal. It was a must-not-lose game for Liverpool. It was simple as that. Liverpool could have just gone about their business and found a draw in this game, and I would have been happy enough, to say the least. In this instance, we couldn't even draw. And as the game wore on, Liverpool just looked out of ideas. They were poor, they were lethargic, they were boring to watch at times, they were dreadful, atrocious, and then a calamity of errors for all 3 of the goals, I would say, really cost Liverpool. And, you know, I felt for the most part, as the game was 1-1, we were going to be sat here and we were going to be talking about maybe a missed opportunity for Arsenal in terms of their forward line not being clinical enough, and I still think there is a conversation to have about that. I still think there is enough of a suggestion to say that the Arsenal front line still isn't clinical, still isn't in top form, and obviously still isn't maybe the most dangerous or lethal kind of front line that you have in world football right now. But it was enough to get them over the finish line, and obviously the mistakes from Liverpool really helped Arsenal. They were very much deserving of the victory, of course, but for Liverpool, there was a missed opportunity there. just shocking throughout. Just shocking. The fact that we even went in at half-time 1-1 was incredible. And you know what? There is no excuses. I can pinpoint the referee, and believe me, we will talk about the referee because there's no getting away from the referee being poor. But that's not the reason why Liverpool lost. That's not the reason why Liverpool lost, because we were shocking today. Arsenal were better than us. They deserved the 3 points. They deserved the win. Fantastic for Arsenal. They get back in the title race. Fantastic, even more so for Manchester City, because Liverpool dropped points. I don't think it necessarily means a lot to Arsenal going forward. I still don't expect them to win the league. I don't think they will. So, really, I think this is overall, and looking at the bigger picture, just a better victory and a better result for Manchester City than it necessarily will be obviously in the aftermath of this to either one of these sides. Maybe the long term for Arsenal, more or less. Maybe the short term for Liverpool. First half was atrocious. First half, absolutely atrocious. Liverpool could only string 2 passes together, and they were between Alisson and Konate, or Alisson and Van Dijk. And then afterwards, that was it. There was nothing going forward. They were static. There was no movement. And Arsenal were just handling everything that Liverpool were throwing at them. And if we didn't already have a warning sign early on in the game through Bukayo Saka, who missed a golden opportunity very early on to draw first blood for Arsenal, we then definitely knew about it later on, within 5 minutes of him missing that golden opportunity from very close range from the goal. Havertz is through on goal. Havertz is then put through on goal. There's no everyone's ball watching. There's no movement whatsoever to deal with Arsenal's movement. And Havertz is through on goal. Now, wasn't too bothered because it's Kai Havertz, and let's face it, he's not that good. That's even more embarrassing that we actually lost to an Arsenal side that had their line led by Kai Havertz. But his shot, saved by Alisson, but the rebound found Saka. Again, everyone's ball watching, no one's picking up their man, and Saka finds his way into the back of the net. Too easy. Too easy as far as what I'm concerned in that regard. Then there was a few moments where I felt Liverpool were getting back into the game, quickly nullified and neutralised by Arsenal. Very well played for that. And then somehow, some way, shape or form, Liverpool find themselves going into half-time at level terms. Luis Diaz causing himself a bit of a nuisance, grabbing Birch's ball over the top. Diaz doesn't give up on the ball, and then all of a sudden his sort of cross, he's trying to find Jota, I think, and his cross gets bundled into his own goal by Gabriel. So Arsenal really did score all 4 goals today. They just were on the receiving end of a 3-1 victory. But that was the only way we were going to score, it seemed, because we were shocking. We had nothing going for us in that first half. Second half, we looked a little better coming out. We had a few statements of intent from McAllister and Jones going close. But then after that, Arsenal controlled the game again, and we felt like it was only a matter of time before... It seemed again only a matter of time before Arsenal were going to score, and if Liverpool were going to get something, it would be on the counter-attack. We even threw the likes of Darwin Núñez on the... I just caught the camera. We even threw the likes of Darwin Núñez on to try and aid our counter-attacking intent. Didn't really do much in this game. Didn't really do anything. I think he had 1 shot and also got booked for dissent. Again, we'll come on to the referee a little bit later. And then a calamity of a defensive error between Van Dijk and Alisson. Van Dijk's too casual. For me, the ball goes over the top. Van Dijk is too casual. He just needs to deal with it. He needs to deal with it. He doesn't deal with it. I don't know if there's a miscommunication. I don't know whether he didn't hear a shout from Alisson or whatever, but Van Dijk too casual to deal with it and then runs into Alisson, who's about to clear the ball away. I don't know what the hell was going on for that goal. I don't know what the breakdown in communication was between them two, but it was atrocious. It was abysmal. And Gabriel Martinelli, who never gave up on that ball, gets rewarded by the ball kindly falling to him, and he has the simple task of finding the back of the net. 2-1 Arsenal, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Because again, we didn't look threatening. We looked all out of ideas. We had a couple of long shots again, but again, we didn't look at anything like we were on Wednesday when we took on Chelsea. We didn't look anything like we have done in recent weeks. We just looked like we were done, tired, and just wanted to move on from this game as quickly as possible. And then, to add insult to injury, Ibrahim Konate picks up a second yellow card from the referee. Again, we'll talk about that because that was a bit dodgy in itself. And then to really rub salt into the wounds, Leandro Trossard continues his good goal-scoring form against Liverpool by finding the back of the net. His strike deflected and the ball deflected through the legs of Alisson and into the back of the net. So, poor performances all round by the Reds. I think there's only maybe McAllister I can say had a half-decent game. I think everybody else was shocking. Wasn't quite the performance and expectation that I expected in this game. Alisson, poor. Trent looked like he sank out there. Did Trent. I know that he's only just come back from injury, and I know that they probably didn't want to probably put Trent straight back in, given the fact that it's Arsenal, given the fact that Martinelli normally gives him a torrid time, and given the fact that Conor Bradley as well had been so good, but obviously because of other factors outside of football, obviously Conor Bradley was unavailable today, and obviously we wish him and his family all the best. But he was poor. Van Dijk was poor. Konate was poor. Gomez had a pretty poor game by his standards. McAllister, like I say, only one to really lift his head up from this game with a half-decent performance. I thought Jones in the second half did better, but again, the bar wasn't exactly set high. Gravenberch was poor. Diaz tried to make stuff happen, but didn't really have any service. Neither did Jota. I forgot Jota was playing. He was a passenger throughout the entirety of the game. I completely forgot Diogo Jota was playing. But then again, he had no service. Gakpo had nothing going for him either, and the subs did nothing as well. It was just a bad day at the office all round for everybody at Liverpool. It was a shocking performance. It was a shocking display. And again, to use the words, it was abysmal. It was absolutely abysmal from us. We just put up no fight whatsoever. And there was nothing from us. There was absolutely nothing from us. And like I say, fair credit to Arsenal for the majority of that. The majority of it was down to Arsenal neutralising us in key moments and key areas and playing the better football. But I wouldn't even say that was Arsenal's best performance. Arsenal didn't really have to come out of like second or third gear. They had one avenue of attack, and that was Martinelli down the left. Martinelli was incredible that game. He was absolutely incredible. He gave Trent a torrid time. He even kept it up and never gave up anything. They just had more tenacity than us. They had more of a press. They had more of a game plan. They were more united than us. They had everything, and we had absolutely nothing going for us. And I'm not being reactionary to this. Like I say, this is one result at the end of the day. It'll be interesting to see how we do bounce back from this. But yeah, the opportunity was there, the incentive was there, and we just didn't take it. We really didn't take it, and now we're going to have to look to see how we bounce back. How we bounce back? We've got to bounce back, because now the pressure's obviously on us to bounce back, and the pressure's obviously going to be on us to maintain our standing right now. And obviously the ball is more in Manchester City's court than it is any of these two teams here. But we'll have to obviously wait and see how that all pans out in the next game that Liverpool play. I'm just deflated. I'm just absolutely deflated because, you know, you wait all weekend. That's why I hate these Sunday games sometimes. You wait all weekend for a 4 game, and then you play like that. Like, Arsenal are a good team, don't get me wrong, but you don't lay a glove on them. You don't lay anything on them. You actually, the one moment that you have is basically scored by their own defender. You wait all weekend for a shocking performance like that and a terrible result. It just deflates. It just really does deflate. It's very poor. It's embarrassing. But Arsenal did deserve it. Liverpool got no excuses. We go again. Pick ourselves up. I guess, like I say, the only half-decent thing today was McAllister's performance. It was good to see Thiago get 10, 15 minutes, I suppose, if you're looking at the positives. Fingers crossed that he continues his recovery and he's not going to be injured by the time the next game comes around. Probably will be, knowing Thiago, but there you have it. Yeah. Shocking. Poor, and poor again. And it, you know what, it makes it even worse because, like I say, it was an Arsenal side that had their front line led by Kai Havertz, who I do not rate at all. Do not rate. As far as being a top player in a top club, in a top division goes, I do not rate. And, you know, Arsenal, they'll look at Gabriel Martinelli, who was fantastic today. They'll look at Jorginho, a Chelsea reject, by the way, who was running that midfield. That's annoying as well. A Chelsea reject running the midfield in the way that Jorginho did. There was no pressure on him whatsoever. He was allowed to just basically lead from that midfield area and do whatever the hell he liked. That was annoying as well, and that was frustrating. And this was a completely different Liverpool team to what I have seen these past few weeks. And that's what's really stinging most of all in this. Look, not to throw baby out of the bathwater or anything like that. It was a poor performance. It was a calamity of errors that led to all of Arsenal's goals. It was a poor day at the office by everybody. But the positive is, you know, we're still top of the league. We've still got a couple points clear of everybody else. Arsenal's victory today. Look, if I'm being completely honest, like, Arsenal are playing for second place. I said that all along. Arsenal are playing for second place. I still see City being the favourites. I still see City winning it. Arsenal are playing for second place. This win just puts them more into the title conversation after obviously what was a poor few weeks at the end of December. After Christmas, going into the New Year period where they lost like 2 games on the bounce. They drew to Liverpool. It means that they're back in the conversation, essentially. But I don't see them winning it. I don't see it being anything miraculous from Mikel Arteta this season in regards to Arsenal winning a major trophy. I see it being City's all day long, unless Liverpool can obviously bounce back from this. And I hope that they will, and I expect them to. I expect them to bounce back from this. Whether they do go on and win the Premier League title or not, obviously is a different conversation altogether. I don't expect them to. I still expect City to be the favourites, considering history. But we'll wait and see where that goes. Today was just a very poor performance. Just a very poor overall day in general, especially when you consider that United also won. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We move on to next week. Arsenal, worthy winners, but Liverpool were absolutely dreadful today. Just a quick note on the refereeing performance. I thought he lost control. He was handing out yellow cards like they were sweets on Halloween. I don't understand why he books Konate for the first challenge. He made some... And even the second challenge, right? I can understand, right? So the first challenge on Havertz is 50-50 in my opinion. I don't understand why he's kind of booked both of them. They both got their hands around each other. They're both kind of wrestling and grappling. And then he books Konate. Okay, it happens. I get that. But then the second one, I understand completely. Like that's a yellow card. It stops a counter-attack. That's always been a yellow card. I get the sending off of Konate. What I don't understand is not even like 2 minutes later, Gabriel, and this is at 2-1 by the way. This is at 2-1. Gabriel does the exact same challenge on Darwin Núñez on the penalty on the halfway line. Bearing in mind, he's on a yellow card. Gabriel does the exact same challenge on Darwin Núñez. Doesn't get anything. No free kick, no nothing. Núñez gets up and says to the ref, "What the hell are you playing at?" He gets booked. He gets booked for dissent. And then we have another example of the dissent law and how awkward and how give and take it is and how inconsistent it's used. Like I say, it's no excuse whatsoever, but it still needs to be called out that the referee decided to not only use the dissent law, again, in a hit and miss manner like it has been all season in the inconsistent way it has been, but also, it needs to prove once again that even though Gabriel did the exact same thing Canate did to stop Darwin Núñez running through on goal, he didn't give anything for that foul. And he decided to play on. And he then decided to put Núñez for his protest and not Gabriel for the foul, which would have clearly been another yellow card to stop a counter, which would have clearly been a sending off for Arsenal and would have left it 10v10 going into the final couple of minutes, with then both teams with down to 10 men and also with the score still at 2-1 to Arsenal. Like I say, it's not the be-all and end-all of today. Liverpool were dreadful. Arsenal deserved the 3 points. I 100% understand it. But I felt the referee lost complete control, and that's when he started handing out yellow cards. But the one yellow card he didn't hand out was the second one to Gabriel for the foul on Núñez. But it is what it is. Liverpool lose. It's poor. It was abysmal. It was definitely a day to forget for the Reds on this occasion. But we move on. We move on. Yeah, I'm very deflated, as you can probably tell. This has been all over the place a little bit. I'm just annoyed by it all. Just very much annoyed by what was a very poor performance. These are the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. I might do more on Arsenal later on this week. I might talk about if they are genuinely back in the title race. Like I said, firstly for me, as good as what the result was today, as good as what the performance was today, I still think they are soft in the front line, which is ultimately going to cost them in the end. Like I say, if it wasn't for Liverpool gifting them 3 goals, there was no way they were scoring 3 goals. Just putting it out there. As good as what they weren't scoring 3 goals if it wasn't for Liverpool and obviously them being absolute car crash at the back. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section. Would love to hear from you all. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another instant match reaction. Expect better from Liverpool next time. Expect much, much better from Liverpool next time. I'm hoping for a bounce back. I'm hoping for some sort of reaction to what was a dreadful performance today. Full credit to Arsenal. 3-1 victors at the Emirates Stadium tonight against the Reds. But yeah, I expect better from Liverpool next time around. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Speak to you soon in another video. Peace. Take care.